Hi, I'm Dr. Matt, and we have another Biodiversity Boutique today from Grand Rapids Community College. And we are here at the Frederick Meijer Garden. We're going to look at the Butterflies Are Blooming exhibition. A little early, but it's still here. And if you guys remember last time, we talked about butterflies and moths, right? So we were looking at butterflies and moths in this wonderful gift shop over here. And somebody said they spotted a moth. Does anybody want to point that moth out? Go ahead, point it out. Which one? That one? That's a huge one, isn't it? Now, do you remember the ones last week we looked at? They were Cecropia moths. It's a close, not a real close relative, but a relative of that. Did you see any other moths up here? Go ahead, point one out.
The yellow moth.
Yep, and that's a tiger moth, and that's related to the ones that were mimicking those butterflies last time, right? So the rest you're saying are butterflies, is that correct?
I think I see another one.
You do?
That guy down there with the brown.
It looks like one, but you know what? That's kind of a relative of the monarch butterfly. It's just really dark, and it looks kind of moth-like, right? But it really is a butterfly. So there's two here, and I just wanted to point out that at the Frederick Meijer Garden, we do much more than have exhibits and that sort of thing, because we have these gift shops, we have huge conference rooms over here for all sorts of groups to attend, and we have beautiful sculptures all over. Even the floors are gorgeous. So we're going to take a minute now, we're going to leave, and we're going to go look at the floors that are done by a famous artist over here, okay? Pull the tiles on the floor? Okay. All right, well everybody, here we are again, and I just wanted to point out that the Frederick Meijer Garden, they have these very unique floors here. And this floor was designed by Michelle Oka-Donor. She went to the University of Michigan, went down to Florida for a while and came back. And if you look down at the floor, you'll see all these beautiful designs that are from nature. They are from spores, or from pollen grains, or from one-celled animals and plants. And they're inlaid in actually these tile-like things. And I'll just show you one of these over here. I have no idea really what this is, but this is bronze. And these are actually inlaid in the floor using these materials. So it's a terrazzo floor. And there's something like 1,600 elements of these types of inlaid, they almost look like fossils in this floor here. And they should last a long time, I'm thinking, because this is really thick. So no matter how long you walk on this stuff, I don't think it's going to wear out. But they're beautiful, and she made incredibly nice designs here. So this floor was finished, I believe, a little over a year ago, maybe two. And it just adds so much to the culture of the whole place. So as we go through here, we'll also see a lot of smaller sculptures, but there's a lot of sculptures outside that you've probably seen too. So that's what I like about the Frederick Meijer Garden, is they've mixed, science and culture of all sorts, art, and it's a big blend of things. Because typically when we think about science, you think pretty linear stuff, right? But actually, science and art people are pretty close related in their heads. So we're now going to go down the floor here to our first room. It's going to be the arid room, and we're going to look at the plants, and then you guys can ask me all kinds of questions, all right? Okay. Okay. All right, so we're in the Holton Arid Garden, and as you can see, it's loaded with plants that you might call what? Anybody know? Go ahead.
Cacti?
Cacti? Very good. And so, what about cacti? Do you like them or not? Not too much?
It's kind of a mixture of like and not like because of the prickly stuff.
Oh, the prickly. Oh, these. So you mean if I touch one of these, it's really going to hurt?
If
It
you
depends
poke
how
your
hard.
finger, yeah.
Well, what are those for? Go ahead.
Defense against animals that might eat.
Defense. So if an animal lands on this, you think that would hurt? And it's hard to eat this part here? Does anything live on cactuses or no?
There's a couple of different kinds of owls, right?
Owls live on it, even a woodpecker, and lots of birds. What pollinates? Are these plants?
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, yes.
Some animals do eat cactus.
Do they? Yeah, including humans. Did you know we have a cactus in Michigan?
No.
Yeah, we have this bear claw cactus. It's called a puntia, and it's found in southwestern Michigan on the big lake. So it's pretty common actually. But in here, doesn't it feel good? I mean, this is the middle of winter, and now we are in this arid room, and it's pretty dry, so we have to keep things, you know, dry in here, right? Because if they had too much humidity, they would probably rot. So who wants to touch one of these? You want to? Go ahead.
Third, do not try to touch the butterflies. Fourth, the USDA requires that all plant materials
They're very careful.
remain in the conservatory. Please do not put anything on your way out.
Okay, now as we go through here, I want you to think also that these spines that you see here, these are modified leaves. They're just spiny leaves, and they do something else that we normally don't think of. Anybody know what it might be? If there's a lot of them and they cover up the whole plant, besides the fence, sometimes they slow down the hot air that goes next to them, and if they do that, they slow down the rate that they lose water. So does that make sense? So they slow down evaporation if there's a lot of them on the particular branches that they're on. So we're going to wander down here now, around this area here. There's other plants that resemble cactuses, but they're really from Madagascar, and they're in a totally different group. You can actually say either one if you want. Feels nice. Are found in Africa or in Madagascar. That's like a big island just off the coast of, yeah, aren't these sweet? It looks like one, but it's not one. And notice they have, no, they look like them, and they have thorns, but if you look at the flower, they're a different kind of flower. The cactuses are more related to the roses and apples and things like that, and these are not. And some of these have lost their leaves pretty much, and they become kind of really naked. Yeah. And the other ones have thorns on them and very narrow leaves because they also dry out really fast. So you don't want to back into these either. A lot of these are what they call euphorbs, and they're very, very pretty flowers. And they sell them commercially all over the place. So again, another dry area, right, compared to the carnivorous room. So we've had 3 already. We've had the American desert, now we have Africa and Madagascar, and we've had carnivorous plants mostly from America. So we're going to go down to the seasonal room. The seasonal room is where we actually show the Polar Express with the train and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, it's not that. It's really like springtime, I think, isn't it? So we'll go check out the plants. You guys name all the plants you can see, okay? So let's go over here. Leave your baggage unattended. A flight attendant will be with you directly. Okay, well, you guys, here we are in the seasonal room, and this is like an early Michigan garden with some of the flowers that are blooming in, you know, May when the snow goes away. Hopefully not, maybe April. And they also have here these really neat arum type lilies, and these are from Indonesia and Japan. Who's going to smell this? Go ahead, smell it. Not right down there though, this up here with the blossom. You smell it? Does it smell good?
I can't do it.
You can't smell it?
I can't smell it.
I can smell it back here too.
That's
Can you
that
smell it?
awful smell.
So this attracts beetles and flies that pollinate it, and it only shoots up. I don't know about this species, but some of these bloom every 30, 40 years, and I'm not sure what this species does, but there's a number of them on behind us. We'll go look at them too. But notice how they've kind of planned this out for the garden down here. Anybody know the names of these flowers? Go ahead.
There's bluebells.
Bluebells. And go ahead. Tulips. And anybody know hyacinths? Hyacinths smell really, really good. So, and there's redbud over here. You see the little redbud tree? We actually have redbuds in Grand Rapids too, and they're very, very pretty. And a lot of butterflies like redbuds early in the spring. And down over here, do you want to walk over here? We'll look at the other big lily, or the arum plants over here. So somebody smell this one right here, this devil's tongue. Can you smell it now? Okay. Can you guys smell? What's it smell like? Doesn't that smell good? Smells like bad chicken to me. Yeah.
No, I mean like chicken, like live chicken.
Live chicken. They're pretty amazing. I think you guys should buy one of those and put them in your living room. No? You don't want that? Okay. Well, should we go to the greenhouses now, everyone? We'll go check out and see how they actually plan the greenhouses here. Okay. We're going to go through the double doors, and Amy's going to help us. You want me to start?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, everybody. So we know what these plants are, don't we, over here?
Orchids.
Orchids. And there are thousands of species of orchids, and some of them are really rare, and people really pride themselves on the number of orchid species that they have. Unfortunately, some of these are endangered, but at the Frederick Meijer Garden, they have hundreds of varieties of orchids, and they grow these in part for the displays out there in the atrium where the butterflies are flying now. So they're decorative plants, and also there are people who specialize in orchids, and it's their full-time responsibility as volunteers to take care of these. So when they get new orchids in, sometimes people steal them out of the wild and they're not supposed to. Sometimes they're shipped over here and they have to check them for parasites or whatever, kind of quarantine them, you know, and then they take care of them. So they have a huge number of orchids in this greenhouse. And if you look around, there's orchids over there and those little, they're like, I was gonna say castanets, but they're like little baskets, you know. Now, typically, we don't have the humidity for orchids in our houses in Michigan, but if you have a bathroom with a light or something, it's the best of both worlds. So you can see that these over here are being taken care of, and these have stopped blooming. They trim them back, check the soil. So it takes a lot of volunteers, actually, to take care of all these plants. Okay, so you guys like orchids?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd think that these would be really attractive to butterflies, wouldn't you? But the truth is they're not. For some reason, they attract mostly bees and tiny wasps in Costa Rica and Panama, wherever they come from, but not so much butterflies. Okay, we'll go to the next greenhouse here, a decorative greenhouse. Yes, no, that's what it is. Do you guys want to just?
You can sit on Timmy's lap.
Yeah, you're good.
Where we can sit.
Okay, we are now in the Victorian Garden, and as you can see, they have certain kinds of displays here of flowers and chairs and tables. So what would you guys do in the Victorian Garden? What do you think?
Read.
Read a book? Really?
Take a nap.
Take a nap? What else? What would you do? Tea. Tea and crumpets, or just tea? Biscuits. Biscuits. So do you like this atmosphere? I mean, there's antiques behind you, and there's the stained windows over here, stained glass windows, and there's little canopies over there, cupolas, beautiful plants. So do you think they got these plants from around England maybe, or do you think that they actually got these from other parts of the world? Yes, they did. So this is one of my favorite places because it's so quiet, and you can get married here, right? Eventually, if you want. So, and I think a lot of people do that, right? So they have little pools over there. Is that all you guys would do then? You'd sleep, you'd read, and you'd eat.
Right. Yeah.
And write? You'd write too? Anything else? Walk. How about conversation? Do you think they sat out in these kinds of gardens and talked actually? Yeah. Or do you think they played electronic games back then? No. So you instruments, that would be nice. Yeah. Okay. We'll go to the butterflies now. Okay. Wow. Okay, we are in the Butterfly Conservatory right now, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's really hot in here, so it feels like Costa Rica. And we just saw 2 heliconius butterflies mating, didn't we? Yep. Now, the nice thing about the heliconius butterflies is that they feed on passion flower, and that's the only thing they feed on. So there's no passion flower here, so they can't lay any eggs, and therefore everything's okay, right? Because what they can't do is they can't allow breeding to take place in the garden. So they're there are no larval food plants. There's no food plants that the caterpillars can actually feed on. So you might see it all the time, and these guys will stay mated for quite a while. You can probably catch them if you get a little closer. You see it right down here, right there. This is a very natural area. Oh, there's good action today.
Dr. Matt,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why would there be bamboo in here?
Oh, they put the bamboo in here.
I know that, but why would they put it in?
Oh, just for more decoration, I think, than anything else. They have lots of different kinds of plants, and they're from all over the world. But see, if you look over there, see those big leaves over there? The butterflies love to land on those leaves because it's sunny, and they kind of collect the sunlight with their leaves, and then they get warm enough, and then they're flying. So today is a really, really good day. Thankfully, right? Except it's hot. So let's go over here. Brand new.
Brand new.
Congratulations.
Are you hot with that sweater?
I am hot. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. So, part of the rainforest experience, everybody, is having a lot of waterfalls. So if you do go to Central and South America and in the rainforest there, you'll see a lot of pools with little rainfalls and sometimes huge rainfalls. And butterflies love that. Anybody know why? No? Didn't know this one? Well, there's a lot of nutrients that wash up on the sand and the rocks. And the butterflies love to land on the damp soil, and they pick up the salts that are in the soil from the water. Kind of like a nectar to them almost. So do we know what kind of butterflies are flying around here? Remember the heliconius butterflies? Most of these, and the swallowtails, or swallowtails, and there's morphos. Here comes some some heliconius right here. You see how they investigate everything? Like that one right there is going for a flower, but they check everything out. These butterflies have really, really good eyes, and they're very astute at where they are. So they're always looking for mates, they're always looking for food, and some of them last almost 2 months. They can live a very, very long time. So when they fly, they look like little helicopters. That's why they call these heliconius. And they love, vegetation that's in the sunlight. So we're going to go through the waterfall now. Okay? It is hot, isn't it? You guys are going to nature's classroom pretty soon? Wow. Tomorrow? Up there? And you took the pupa out, remember? So those cocoons are very closely related to the cecropia moss that we have here. That is a real butterfly. That's related to the monarch butterfly. That's called Idea. It's a really pretty one. And if you look at all these chrysalises, you see how different they are? You can really tell the species by looking at what the chrysalis looks like. There's one that just popped out. You see it over there? It's on the second rack.
There's a white one.
Yeah. So they have a lot of butterflies from Asia here this year, a lot of new butterflies. And does anybody know how they get these butterflies in here? They have,
Put 'em all in and they lay
well,
'em.
they actually have farmers that raise these down in wherever they get them from, and they ship the pupa up here.
It's over here.
And then, of course, they pin them up. They have a little bit of silk on them. They pin them up on those, and then when they keep it warm enough and they keep it moist enough, then they emerge. So there's little tiny ones and there's big ones down there. The big ones are the morphos.
Where are those?
Right down here. They're beautiful. Yeah, the green ones. So yes,
Where are the clear ones?
the clear wings are, I saw one the other day, but I don't think most of them have emerged yet. So they will, but they're not out yet.
I thought it's
Those are the cocoons. That's the atlas moth. Yeah, that's the atlas moth. So they're big, aren't they?
a lot of them have
And there's the swallowtail up here. Oops. I hear monkeys or something. So aren't those neat? They're almost as pretty as the butterflies. You know, we'll go back up over the bridge so we don't interfere with this other class, okay? We'll head right back up here and then we'll go around again. Now this over here is kind of a hot spot for butterflies because it's got a nice set of horizontal vegetation and it's in the sunlight. It's not being disturbed and the butterflies are landing over here, but they're almost all heliconius. And when they fly at each other like that, usually those are males looking for females. So if you watch them really carefully, they will kind of flutter like that one right there. You see them fluttering by? And they kind of chase each other a little bit. And then they bask in the sunlight. Isn't that nice? They're very territorial, so they kind of pick up their own leaf. And then they scatter around and come back and take another leaf. That felt like rain, but it's not. It's condensation up there. Either that or it's an alien. Could be that. So look over here, you guys. On this tree, I don't know if you can see them up here, but there's a lot of heliconius flying in the trees here too. See them? You got to look in the canopy because there's probably 100 butterflies up there. You just don't see them right away.
They have a leafy kind of shape.
Yeah.
They sit.
So wouldn't it be nice at this time of year if we could just do this outside Michigan? Wouldn't that be great? I think it'd be really nice. But I think we're in for another 6 weeks of winter.
It's raining.
Yeah, it's kind of like raining up there, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I see it.
The drip.
Yeah.
Well, let's go down here. We'll take the trail around here. I haven't seen any. There's the bishop's weaver, there's turquoisine, canaries, and a quail and honey creeper. So let's see if we can find some birds. Hope we didn't scare everybody away. Isn't this pretty, you guys, with the little creeks? Look at these orchids. Aren't those beautiful? Now, there's a bird feed. Oh, there you go. Now, I'm not sure. No, that's okay. That food looks good enough to eat, doesn't it?
I can't believe the butterflies can live at this temperature.
It's just that we're not used to it. You know, by summertime, this is no warmer than what we have in our summers usually. Like in July, you know.
We're just used to the cold.
We're used to the cold by now, but pretty soon, you know, March is going to be here, and you'll think birds coming back and butterflies in May. Yeah. Now the birds will not eat the butterflies here, so they're all safe because most of these birds are seed eaters. There's little tiny quail that run around too. There's usually babies running around. They're tiny, tiny little things. Isn't it pretty? What is that? So we'll walk around the trail over here, you guys, until she can get a shot. Now, that's a really beautiful morpho butterfly, and that's probably from Costa Rica. And it just emerged not too long ago. And you see how bright the blue is? Remember we were looking at those in the box at GRCC? That's really not a true color like a pigment. It's really an iridescent color. So that one's being very cooperative. And if you look, you can see all the orchids that the volunteers have grown in the back greenhouses. They're all on display here, and they're beautiful. They look like butterflies too, don't they? That is a nice butterfly there. Did you get a picture? No, it's alive. It's alive. It's just very new. In fact, it's so new, it's absolutely perfect. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, just kind of sitting there. Yes. We can't actually, it's cold. Oh, here's another swallowtail over here. That's pretty new too. You guys want to get down and look at that? Isn't that cool? Wait, come over here just a little bit, and then there you go. It's so still. It's so still. Did he fly? I guess he did. And over here, you guys, hey, I've got one more thing. You see this little tiny creek over here? This little waterfall? Morpho butterflies love that. When in the rainforest, they look out for water like this. And the males, when they have enough males here, you'll see a lot of males at those bananas up there. The rotten bananas, they love the rotten bananas. Those pretty leaves. Oh, there's a whole bunch of orchids over there too, look. The way they displayed them. You see a butterfly in there? Oh yeah. Yep. That is a heliconius. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me just pull this a bit. That's pretty brand new too, isn't it? You can tell they're new because they have a sheen to them. They kind of sparkle.
Well, there's another one on.
Another one? Oh yeah. So what do you guys think? You want to come live here? Or is it too hot?
Too hot.
Too hot? You think the butterflies like the heat?
The cold weather right now.
Do you? They might, you never know.
I'm very sweaty.
Well, so we're going to go out now, you guys. We're going to leave and we're going to go out the back entrance, and we have to be checked to make sure no butterflies are on our backs or heads or anything so that they don't escape. Okay? We'll go back towards the pupa. So the tropics are endangered, right? They're hot, but once you get used to the heat, they're beautiful because there's so many animals and so many plants.
My grandma used to live in Arizona.
Arizona, well, that's not quite tropical, but they have a lot of different plants and animals there. It's hot there. This is kind of muggy, right? But you need this kind of mugginess, or otherwise the plants won't grow and then you won't have all these butterflies. Do you know how many butterflies you might find in a rainforest in Peru? How many do you think?
3 million.
That's close. 1,400. And in the entire United States, we have 700. That's all we have. So 2 times as many in just a small rainforest in Peru. That's why we have to save the rainforest, right?
Yeah.
Because if we don't save them, we don't save a lot of species that are in trouble. Well, let's go out the back door here, past the pupa again, and if you have any more questions, let me know, okay?